Well, good morning. It is June 16th at 6 a.m. I haven't been on here for a while, haven't put a video out for a while, but I've been working on the basement, that's why. And so this morning, had the alternator go out in my car, so now I need to replace that. So I have a 2008 Hyundai Sonata, and it's time to do it, so I'm going to do it. So I pulled the car into the garage here, and I've already ruled out that it's not the battery. The way I ruled out it's not a battery is I ended up putting a new battery in it. This is you can see the date here, it's a 122, so it's a brand new battery. Went to Napa, got a decent battery, so it's not the battery. My old battery was about 6 years old, and so it was time for a new one anyway. So not the battery. And then your fuses are right in here, and I'm pretty sure it's this 10 amp fuse here that tells you whether or not you're getting power from your alternator. And so I checked that, and it all looks good, so it's not the fuses. I use this cheap multimeter to check the voltage coming from the alternator while the car was running, and it was not producing enough volts to actually charge the batteries down at about 12 volts, and you really need about 14. So it's the alternator. We're going to replace it. So first things first, anytime you're doing any kind of work on a car, I like to remove the negative battery terminal, excuse me. And that way you know there's not going to be any chance of you getting shocked, first of all, and second of all, no one can start the car while you're working on it, so get that thing taken off. First things first, we're going to remove this cover. It's a 10 millimeter, and you just take these bolts out. Don't lose them. Alright, so that's removed. So the next thing we're going to do is take this cooling fan off that's attached to the radiator. And to do that, the first thing we got to do is take this air intake off. It's just 3 screws right there. These are just the quick connect screws that come in a lot of modern automobiles now. Alright, once you've got those screws out, this just pops off, and then it just comes right off down there. So, piece of cake. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is take this radiator hose off, and it's just got a pinch clamp here. Put a pair of pliers on there. And as soon as you do that, it's going to squirt you a little bit, so be prepared for a little bit of radiator fluid to come out. Yeah, okay. As I was saying, be prepared for a little bit of radiator fluid to come out of here when you unpinch that. I am now prepared. And I'm probably still going to get squirted, but I was not prepared the first time. And then you just pull this off of there, and there will be some fluid that comes out of there, just about like that. We'll let it drain here a little bit in here. And of course the actual radiator's leaking just a bit, so we're going to end up having to put something over that because we don't want that all over the floor. Alright, I ended up putting a plastic bag over it so it'll quit leaking. Just tied it off with a piece of string, so hopefully that keeps my floor a little cleaner. You don't want your pets drinking any of that antifreeze. It's poisonous, and apparently, I don't know, I've never tasted it, but they say it's sweet, and that's what your dogs and cats will go after. So next thing for this the fan here is to take out this. It's a 10 millimeter, oh sorry, yep, 10 millimeter bolt here, and then one over here on this side. All right, once you get the bolts taken out, there's a connection here for the fan. This clip has a little button here that you press here and then just pull it out. So you just push that in and then this should come right out. Just put that off to the side. Next thing we got to do is down the side of this fan here, there's some little clips right here, and you just got to push those in so you can pull this fan straight out. And there's one of those clips on both sides. All right, so once you get the fan pulled out, unclipped there and pulled out, then we're gonna start working on disconnecting this alternator. So you see down here, there's a 12 millimeter nut right there you got to pull off. So we're going to pull that off, and then this just slides right off just like that. And then I'm also going to pull this off just so I can get it out of the way. All right, you can see now I've got all the wires off of the alternator. I've kind of pushed them off to the side over here. The O2 sensors over there. And now that this is all kind of opened up, you can see the inside of this radiator is kind of exposed. You don't want to damage that, and so I'm going to put some cardboard on it. All right, so this is just a scrap Amazon box that I've trimmed down to kind of fit here, and you can put it down inside and outside the radiator, so that way when you're pulling that alternator out of here, you don't damage your radiator. All right, once you get this all cleared out, get the wires disconnected, then you got to jack the car up, which I've already done, and take this tire off so you can get to the tensioner back behind. All right, once you get the tire off, there's a little guard right here, so you got to take this off. There's 3 screws, one here, and then there's one up here somewhere that we'll have to find, but 3 screws. All right, so once you get your wheel off and this guard off, you've got the tensioner right here. So this is the tensioner. This is not the bolt you want to try and move. There's actually a little fake one right here. It's the second one up, so I can't get my hand up there to show you, but it's that one right there. So that's the one you want to take. You want to put a socket on and move so you can get the tension off the belt and remove the belt. Once you've got the tension off that belt, it's really easy to remove that and just kind of slide it out of the way. Remember where it goes though, because you're gonna have to put it back on. All right, so once that serpentine belt is out of the way, you can see right here, that's the bottom bolt of that alternator. We're gonna loosen that up so we can get the alternator out. So once the bottom one's loosened, then we're gonna loosen up this top one up here. Once you've gotten the top bolt out and kind of loosened here, look down here. Once you've loosened this up a bit, just move that out of the way so it's loose. Then you can pull the bottom bolt out. Then you can pull the bottom bolt out and you should be able to pull that thing out. So once I've got this out or disconnected, then I can start kind of maneuvering it out of the car. And this is, you can see here why I would put the cardboard down here, because you're gonna scrape the crap out of your radiator if you don't. So, and this is caked with dirt and nastiness. And we're almost there. And there you go. That's the alternator out of the car. And you can see it's just it's a filthy, grimy mess. So let's get the new one, put it in there. So I ordered my new alternator from Amazon. I find that it's pretty easy to get parts from them. They sort it by your vehicle and makes it pretty easy to order stuff. If you can get it out of the box, that's really important. So this is TYC brand alternator. Know nothing about it except that I know that it'll fit this car. So we're gonna open this up and install it. All right. So here's the new alternator. Obviously much cleaner than the old one. But we're gonna install that right back where the old one went and call it good. All right, so once you get this kind of maneuvered down in here, you're just gonna slide it over into position. Maybe. Just like this. And it goes in right where the old one was. And then you're gonna take your bolt and get it attached up in here again. Make sure you get it threaded, hand threaded to start, and then you can use your wrench when you're done. All right, once you get the 2 bolts tightened up, this one and the bottom one, then it's just reconnecting everything. So you're gonna put the serpentine belt back on over on this side. You're gonna reconnect your cable here and the one underneath, and reconnect all of the things that you've taken apart to get it back, to get it out up on top, and then you're good to go. So I'm gonna get this thing put back together, and then I'll show you. All right, I pulled it out of the garage. I'll show you here real quick. There she is installed. Belts are, everything's running the way it's supposed to. And I didn't show you this, but we are getting 14 volts, 13.5 out of it. So good repair and all done. So hope that helps you, and we'll see you on the next one.